Welcome back to Reality Check. I'm Valerie Trammell, and joining me are the ladies who are all things natural hair in Wilmington, Delaware. We have Latoya Watson, and I knew I was going to do this, Tywanda Howie. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us on your show today. We really appreciate that.
You ladies are at the forefront really in Delaware and probably in the Mid-Atlantic region, or perhaps the world or the country, talking about natural hair, what it is, how to take care of it. And so I know there are people out there saying, well, I have natural hair. What's the new thing on natural hair? I've had a natural for years. What's different from your mother's natural to natural hairstyles now?
Go ahead. Well, before we had a different, it's like a revolving door going 360, where in the past we've seen it happen over and over again. So we've seen the afros, and then we saw that everyone came back with the jerry curls, and then the relaxers became big again. But this time around, people are taking the time to understand their hair and learn their hair. I think that's a major difference. It's not just the look. People understand the health of their hair. They're also thinking about the health of their body as well, and that's a big difference on that. Also, we have social media, the YouTube, we have the Facebook, blogs.
Yeah, I see people with channels, hair channels. Hi, my name is Valerie, and I want to tell you how I got my twist done. And they have a little camera set up. Their kids are in the background, and then they're doing it, and they got a YouTube channel.
I think that's what's different about it because, like Latoya said, of social media, it allows each individual person to be able to go out there with the internet and technology and really learn for themselves. So there's more information about hair care, how to care for your hair, what works best for you, that you can see just from a neighbor or someone from another state or country what they've done to kind of assess and create, a regimen specifically for yourself.
Now, what would you suggest to someone who wants to stop perming their hair and start going naturally, or they call it the big chop? If you're ready for your big chop, how do you get ready for that physically and emotionally and mentally?
I think, you know what, and everybody's is different because some people decide to go natural, but they don't necessarily take the big chop. The big chop is, to me, what is probably the most mental thing that you have to prepare for. And I think that really what's most important is that you kind of get in tune with yourself and really understand why you're deciding to take that process. Because some people can get caught up with the trend of natural hair and they just want, a lifestyle change, but they're not necessarily sure what that means. And once you take that big chop, there's no way to grow your hair back. So you really have to be confident in who you are from an emotional standpoint, spiritually, and understand truly why you're going on this voyage of wanting to be natural and kind of redefining your beauty and how the world sees you.
Now, if you're ready to go natural, and like I said, many people are sitting out there saying, I've been natural for years, what are they talking about?
Right.
But if you're ready to go redefine natural, what are some of the things that you can do to keep a healthy head of hair?
Well, it's lots of different things. It's picking out products that really work for your hair, not just stuff that looks good. The one things that are actually going to retain and healthy your hair. So healthy hair it means you have a healthy scalp. Your scalp is clean.
Okay, what kind of shampoos do you recommend?
Well, everyone's shampoo and regimen is very different. So some people, they want to do sulfate-free because sulfate-free is less drying. Some people may use cleansing conditioners like things like that, or they may do only co-washing. And co-washing means you use conditioners as a surfactant to really get your hair clean, but you don't have the drying effects of shampoos.
So you go into the shower, get it wet, put conditioner in your hair,
and wash it with a conditioner.
Okay, and rinse it out. So you don't use shampoo, so that's a co-wash.
Correct.
I'm a co-washer. I don't use shampoo in my hair.
At all.
And that's because I learned through the process of being natural that shampoos did not work for me. The thing about being natural is that because you're going back to your natural curl pattern, your hair is either an S curl or a C curl. When you have relaxed hair, it's easy for your natural, the natural moistures in your scalp, the oils, to go from the tip of the root of your hair to the tip. But when you're natural, because you have that wave pattern, it's harder for you to get moisture from the beginning to the end. And because a lot of the products that are in shampoos are very drying to your hair, they have sulfates and peroxides and different things like that to get the sudsy foaming effect. I realized that when I was washing my hair as natural, it was always very dry and it felt like a Brillo pad afterwards, and it was harder to detangle it. So over the years, I realized that for me, for being natural, it's easier to use a conditioner to wash my hair because it still cleanses the scalp, right? And it also still helps me detangle it, and it makes my hair softer and more manageable.
Okay. Now, I know as part of the new natural hair revolution, there are ways in which you can define decide or find out what kind of curl pattern you have, which will decide what kind of products you use. How do you do that? I mean, I hear there's 4C, 3B, 2A. What are some of the curl patterns that you can have, and tell me your two particular ones.
Okay. Well, I always tell people your hair type and your curl pattern, it is not only thing that defines you. There's things like your curl pattern. For instance, Tywanda is about a 3C.
I'm a 3C and a 3B, but let's talk about what they are. So there's a gentleman who created a hair system to determine what your hair pattern is. You're either a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And then in certain patterns, there's a sub, I guess, category. So 1 is if you have straight hair. So if you wet your hair naturally, you have straight hair, then you would be a 1. And normally other ethnic backgrounds have that. A 2 is if you have naturally wavy hair. So your hair makes an S curl, but it's very loose, right? And then what you see for more of the women of ethnicity, African American women, are type 3s and type 4s. And then in those categories, you will be a 3A, B, or C, or a 4A, B, or C. So for me, my hair, when it's wet and it's in its natural state, tends to be about a 3B. And that means that, especially in the front part of my hair, it's wavy and it has a natural S curl pattern. The back part of my hair is a 3B, which means it still has that natural S curl pattern, but the circumference of the curl is tighter. So the curls in the back of my hair are tighter. So if you go down to the B's and C's, that means the circumference of the actual curl is tighter. And then for type 4 hair, Toya can tell you about that.
More of a kinkier hair pattern, so that's more me. I have the front of my hair is a looser curl pattern, so it's about a 3C, but the rest of my hair is about a 4A, 4B. So the 4A means that your hair maybe have more of a spiral. Once you get to B and C, you may have more of a zigzag as opposed to a curl pattern.
A zigzag.
And it's kinkier. So that's one aspect of it. There's also whether your hair is fine, medium, or thick. That means how thick your hair strand is. The porosity of your hair, that means how your hair deals with moisture. And that can be low porosity, regular, or a high porosity hair. And that will affect how you choose your hair products as well.
And I think she's moving quick, but that's very important. A lot of people get caught up with social media about the hair type. But the other things are just as, if not even more important. Determining your hair density, your hair porosity.
Now, how do you do all this? It sounds like
there's
scientists.
Different tests and stuff that you can do. For example, my hair is medium porosity, and one way that I can tell is that when I used to get relaxers, I did not have to keep a relaxer in my hair for a long period of time at all. So as soon as the hairstylist or I put the relaxer in, by the time she got to the end, it was time to take it out because it had already been processed by the chemical. Or even now I have color in the front of my hair. Once she put the fools in, before she finished the fools, it had already lifted. So my hair receives chemicals and it responds to weather and different things quicker than others, right?
Okay. Now I'm getting the signal that we have to wrap up.
Okay.
But if you have one bit of advice for people dealing with their hair, dealing with natural hair, what would it be?
That everyone's journey is completely their own, and it's so easy to get caught up with how someone else's hair looks, what their curls look like, and say, I want my hair to look just like that. But it's impossible, and if you embrace it for yourself and learn what naturally your hair is going to be like, that's the best bit of advice to do it for yourself.
And give us your blogs. And we didn't talk about your website. You've got a big huge social media going on. You go on, people are mixing up product, and that's a great way for people to find out problems, what works for you, what doesn't. So give us your web presence.
If you go to IamNaturallyDefined.com, you can find our main website. We also have a blog, a Twitter, a Facebook group. They're all very active. A lot of the things we talked about today, we can go out into further detail. You can go on our website and look at our blog. And then if you want to go to our Facebook group, you can always ask those questions and someone will answer them for you as well.
Okay. The Facebook group is going 24 hours a day. But we also throw events, which is what really brought us into the Delaware area.
What was your
your
big expo?
We had the state of Delaware, the first natural hair expo in April of this year. We had more than 400 people. We're planning that now. Latoya just had her second child, so we took a little break, but we plan on having something before the end of summer is out.
Okay, ladies, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I am naturally redefined too.
Oh, we love it.
All right. Welcome back to Reality Check. Thank you, ladies, for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
And we will come back after this commercial. Are we going to?